Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and today we can start talking about Mirrors of Madness, the FLC that will be dropping alongside the Forge of the Chaos Dwarfs DLC and Update 3.0. This FLC is a collaboration between Creative Assembly and Intel to promote their newest generation of processors, which is something that we've seen before when it comes to Total War and Intel, obviously the laboratory in Warhammer 2, and then something kind of similar. We've got the Trials of Fate, we've got the Infinite Portal, we're going to talk about both, and some changes to campaign, thankfully, because there are actually a few changes that will come alongside it. Now, before anything, I will have to say I do apologize if I sound winded. I have been deathly ill for the past 24 hours. But other than that, let's just jump right in. So, the Trials of Fate is a survival battle in a very weird thing, right? There's actually a few of them here. These are the new achievements that you might have seen pop up in Total War Warhammer 3 on Steam. There is not that many of them, but there is a small variety, each of them fighting against a different faction. As you can see, you'll be dealing against Lizardmen, Vampire Counts, Warriors of Chaos, Tzeentch, the Grinskins, and the idea is you have to play through these, and with your high score, you'll be able to pick up a new item for Daniel. Now, some of them are harder than others. Obviously, the Vampire Counts are probably going to be quite easy, considering that you're not dealing with any range, and this isn't your typical survival battle. This is more... you have a set army and then you're just going to be dealing with enemies coming straight for you. So you're not going to be able to get new units, you're not going to be able to recruit more stuff. It does get sometimes difficult, which I actually kind of like. I think that it's a very interesting take on this scenario. It's clearly like a challenge mode, and some people do like challenge modes. I'm not really too keen on them myself, but I'm a completionist, and I see those items, it's like, well, that could be useful for Daniel. Now, the fact is that they're all Tzeentchians, so don't expect any items that are going to be useful for any other of the gods or even Undivided. Yeah, you're going to have to dedicate to Tzeentch to be able to get these items, though I must admit that some of them are quite cool, and they are very, very different, which, yeah, I mean, you know, Daniel needs all the help that he can get, right?
Blackfire Pass, legendary crucible of battle. Recreated by the changer of ways for his own twisted enjoyment. Though he gives you powerful abilities, death is inevitable here. Beneath his gaze, you will be measured not by victory, but by the slaughter you wreak.
So we jumped off ahead into a battle, and this one is going to be focused in Blackfire Pass, obviously just reimagined because it's Tzeentch kind of redoing this. The point of this is you're playing as a demon prince who's trying to get favor from Tzeentch or something like that, right? So you have a pretty good stacked army here, decent stats, obviously they're kind of upgraded and so on, and yeah, there you go, battle. You have to deal with the greenskins that constantly keep spawning. There are some new spells here which are quite interesting, and you have to get all the way up to 50,000 points if you want both items, which, yeah, some of them are easy enough to do, some of them are quite hard. The idea is smash your way through and try to do as much damage as possible. You get points from doing damage, so cast loads of spells, try to flank those enemies, get effects going off. It's actually quite interesting, I must admit. I will be very honest with you, I can't see why this is going to be valuable or not. I mean, it's cool, a challenge mode is always really fun. I used to do a lot of challenge mode runs in WoW back before Mythic Plus became a thing, so I like the idea of it. But it seems very focused on one part of Daniel, and I don't know how many people actually turn into like the Tzeentchian devoted for Daniel. I mostly prefer the Slaanesh one. I guess you get bragging rights, and bragging rights are kind of cool. I do feel like there'd be more value if there were items for all the different gods. But hey, maybe they ran out of time, or maybe it's just someone really likes Tzeentch. Still, the battles are interesting, as you can tell. During this, like, you're going to be dealing with archers and so on. So Daniel, or whatever Daniel's called in this battle, will suffer a little bit. It's kind of interesting. I like the idea. I honestly like the idea. It's a different type of survival battle, but again, there's no overall purpose to the main game. I feel like you're just going to do this once, unlock the items, and be done with it. And I know a lot of people, I know that a lot of you watching, regardless if you play Daniel or not, are going to play this to be able to get the items. Let's be very, very honest here. But yeah, it's not that difficult, I must say. Getting to the points, as long as you cast some spells and so on, you're pretty much golden. There's some pretty cool spells, really interesting ones that just throw the enemy around and so on. So I'm going to let the rest of the battle play out right now, mostly because I am feeling a little ill and I would like to have a little rest from talking, and then we'll be back to discuss some Daniel changes and so on.
Destruction! For the changer of ways. I will conquer! The cunning! Seas of blood! Agents of change! This world is mine! The place of conquest! Destined to win! Onward, Northmen! Walking God! Mighty Cinch! Demon Prince! Brutalize them! Warriors of Cinch! Glorious bloodshed! Cultist of Cinch! Power of an immortal! Cinch sees all! Forward! Close on the sheep! Many eyes shall see. We are the cannon! Changing ways. The Deceiver's servant. Instruments of deception. Cinch. Charge. Demon Prince. Supreme Demon. Repositioning. Ascended Champion of Chaos! Casting! Retreat! Enforcers of change! Let there be butchery! The schemer calls. Withdraw, Horde! Mutation is a gift! We are the cult. Warriors of Cinch! The Demon Prince! On your word. Embrace the forbidden! Instruments of deception.
So you've beaten your battles and now you can start a new campaign with Daniel. Yes, you're going to have to start a new campaign, and it'll probably be better if you do all of them before you start a new campaign with him, as you want all the items. And yeah, it's just in the Zinch area, so you'll have to dedicate... It's I don't know. I'm not too sure exactly what to think about it, because at the end of the day, it's definitely different, but I have no interest in Zine, so yeah. But still, cool system. I'm just not going to get too attached to it unless, yeah, they add in more stuff in the future, and they clearly say that more stuff is coming, because it generally just feels like it's going to be a one-stop shop, just like it was for the laboratory. You're going to use it a few times. This time you actually have stuff to unlock, and then, yeah, that's it, right? There's nothing else to it. You're not going to go back to it. It's okay. Again, it's okay. I will say one thing. I'm really happy that they did start to think about other stuff, though. Like, they did fix up Daniel a little bit by finally adding in a search function, you know, and just separating by each configuration there. So you can just decide if you want only Zinch items to just show the Zinch items and stuff. And I think that's actually quite good. It's a bit weird that that took this to bring that up and nobody thought about that in the future, because there's a lot of items, but hey, better now than never. It's still a character that I'm not really interested in, so yeah, that's all I can pretty much say. But yeah, I mean, it's alright. Now we're going to jump into the last thing, because there is another thing to talk about. The last new feature, well, it's not really new, it's the Infinite Portal, because this is essentially just the laboratory taken in for Warhammer 3, where you can do battles and just have some fun, increase the unit size like massively, or increase damage, pretty much all the stats there. You can even see stuff like being thrown in, getting rid of like gravity and so on. It's kind of interesting. I will say that this is kind of interesting to see just certain things. I must admit that I use this for a decent amount of time, but after a while you will get kind of bored. This is a cool way to see how well your PC can handle stuff, I think, more than anything else, which, yeah, might help you gauge if you need an upgrade or if you're fine right now. There is the unit size thing, just for single entities, which makes Kolek, like, proper sized. And I really wish Creative Assembly would just increase the size of Kolek, because it clearly is able to. But other than that, I mean, yeah, it's just a basic battle thing. I'll be honest with you, I'm not trying to be negative here. There's obviously work that's been put into this, but I feel like a lot of stuff could have come into the patch that we're going to be getting with 3.0, you know, some reworks for races and so on. I do understand, though, that this is something that is very lucrative for Creative Assembly, because being sponsored directly by Intel means that more money comes in to Creative Assembly to work on more DLCs and so on. So I'm looking at it in a way of, well, it might not be for me, but it might be for the benefit of everyone else. So yeah, it's probably best to just be happy about it. I'll let a battle play out for this so you can see how weird you can make it look, how many units you can put into it. Like, I think my Bloodletters were in groups of 300, which was quite interesting, and Blood Crushers on like 96, which... yeah, like if you would have taken that on the tabletop, you would have had to spend a lot of money. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in all this in the comments below. Apologies for not speaking much. I'm not feeling great today, and I really want to just get some rest because it's important. You know, this is the problem. I did push myself into my limits and daily hour streams, 10-hour streams and everything else. I have to realize that I'm only human, and eventually I will burn out myself. So I'm going to get some rest, guys. See you all tomorrow, which the review is done. The review is quite long, I think. And yeah, I'll see you all again very, very soon. Have a great day.
Fight! Bloodletter Supreme! Assemble! Annihilate! Carnage incarnate! Slay! Annihilate! Towards peril! Lord Arden! Slayers! Yeah.